So as part of this webinar, I've just set out the topics that we're going to look at. They are effectively all going to be covered, but not necessarily in the order that they're set out, in that I will speckle references to the guidance and discussions on evidence as much as possible all the way through the talk. But effectively, we're going to first look at the adult dependent relative rules themselves. For short, I'll refer to those as we commonly know them as ADR rules. And that will focus on the eligibility requirements, but you'll see that I have updated other aspects of the requirements just so that you're aware and you have that overview that we need. Then relevant Home Office guidance. So as I said, that will probably have some references all the way through, but there are a few slides dedicated to giving you an overview of what's relevant, what is useful to use when you're preparing applications in this field. Same with the relevant case law and the authorities that you need to be aware of. There's a dedicated section to this in the webinar, but I will make references to some of the cases here and there as well. Discussions on evidence, including expert and useful resources. Again, that is speckled a bit, but we will go through really the things that you need to be aware of. It's difficult to give detailed guidance on this as part of a webinar because it's so case specific usually, but hopefully this will help you to be mindful and to try and really obtain the best evidence and advise on that as best as possible in these cases. And lastly, we'll finish with how to argue an evidence wider Article 8 points if some of the ADR rules are not met, but that won't be the large part of the, that won't feature very prominently as part of the webinar, and we will just cover that at the end just so that you're mindful of where we may need to go if the ADR rules are not met or some of them are not met. The next quote is also from BitSits, and effectively, again, insufficient attention has been paid in the past to these considerations, which focus on whether what care is both necessary and reasonable. So again, stressing the reasonableness of it. Geographical location accessibility, which we looked at, is already has been transposed into the guidance, which is good. Standard of care. Also, and that all of that is capable of embracing emotional and psychological requirements verified by medical expert evidence. Okay, so reasonableness, but then evidence of that.